Marlon Lamar had a little Instagram reaction, kind of was getting buzzed throughout social media. Well, actually, Marlon and Lamar both commented on that situation here to kind of give you their thoughts. So why don't we start with Marlon, who on the Punchline podcast with Jack Settleman gave his thoughts on that situation.
I guess I have beef with the quarterback. Never a good situation to be in, really.
We shouldn't even be live right now. Like, we need to get right.
Bleacher Report, ESPN, they're all pushing this agenda that Lamar Jackson is not a fan of you.
I mean, I feel like he's been very vocal about this throughout the years in the media. He wants to win the big one, or he ain't really going to be too happy. I mean, that's a guy that's daggum striving for excellence, and I like it. Lamar's my guy.
But are you Lamar's guy?
I like the question at the end. But are you Lamar's guy?
Yeah.
Well, that's a great question.
Big question.
Well, why don't we ask Lamar Jackson? He was asked about it after practice, and he gave his answer.
His Instagram story the other day, you told him, obviously, look, we got to get right, and you seem to want to shut that conversation down pretty quickly. Why did you react that way?
You know, Marlo gonna be Marlo. I just didn't want the camera on me at the time, you know, because he know this, you know, I'm all about winning, and I don't want to say winning style, but I just want to, when we're up, I just want to punish people. I just want to get out of there with a dub, you know, clear-minded, you know, just we got things to work on. There's always gonna be things to work on, no matter if you beat a team 40-0 or 22-26, you know, or 28-26. But it's like, I ain't want the camera on me. Like, that's my brother, you know. I know he gonna do what he do, but it's like, man, not right now. I'm a little ticked off, like how the game went. That's all.
So when you say you guys got to get right, what does that look like to you?
Just playing Raven football, putting points on the board. Those guys on the other side of our defense, you know, just stopping people. And it's like, man, the Ravens didn't take their foot off their necks. That's pretty much how I look at games with us.
Lamar. So right there, you know, Lamar saying, you know, Marlo's going to be Marlo. And look, hey, they're friends. He said, called him his brother in there, right? The part here is how they both, I guess, display their emotions after a game. Lamar was still pissed about the game. That's what I took away from it. He was not happy with how the game finished up. He was not happy that it felt like they scratched and clawed to get a victory, and he's all locked into this season. He doesn't want to play any games off the field. All he wants to focus on is the game on the field. But he's very lighthearted about it. It's a non-issue for all this stuff, but I think it just further validates, guys, that Lamar is to the point. And I love that they asked, what do you think we need to do better? It's like, we got to finish.
Yeah.
We got to finish. And isn't that the truth, man? The Baltimore Ravens very well could be 3-0, but because they didn't finish some games, they're sitting at 1-2.
Well, I'll say this, like, I don't think, like, Lamar doesn't have a beef with Marlon, but I think it's very clear that, you know, they both took very different approaches to how they were celebrating that win.
Yeah.
Lamar just wasn't happy, and for him it was kind of like this isn't a time to fuck around. Yeah. And Marlon's, obviously, that's just his personality, is just to do that all the time. And so I think that you know, probably won't be seeing Lamar Jackson on any IG lives anytime soon, unless it's a blowout win or something that he's actually happy with. Well, and I think this is the most we've ever seen Lamar on IG.
Yeah.
On Marlon's IG to begin with.
Yeah, usually Marlon doesn't even bother Lamar. Like, he walks over to Lamar, and Lamar is that's the other thing. Like, I don't know what Marlon was really expecting. I feel like it's the same. Even if they win by like 50, Lamar says like 3 words. He's like, good win, on to next week. Like, he's never been so especially after they kind of had that little scare, especially because Lamar never had a chance to really even touch the ball the fourth quarter, besides the one drive where they went 3 and out. So you could just tell that was probably not the time to talk to Lamar, but they both handle games differently.
They do. And for the record, by the way, for everyone that's saying, you know, Marlon's not doing enough, overall, he's had a solid year. If you go and look at this, it's very solid year.
Very good year.
The problem that has been, and when people are going to complain about the Ravens defense, is more, to me, looking at as miscommunications. Like, we had Q in here breaking down. We'll put up a short of that on our social media. You know, when Dallas went down, it was chunk plays. They didn't get pressure on Dak down the stretch. And then there was wide open spaces where there was miscommunication in the secondary. And where it gets the glaring then result is the Ravens are dead last against the pass in yards per game.
Yeah.
So I think that's where everything goes to. But speaking of that, how do you get ready for the next game?
Well, hold on. So I did want to mention this too. So there was so far Marlon this year is 10th in solo tackles.
Mhm.
That's 120th in the league. No forced fumbles, Mr. Punch. When was the last time that Marlon
It's been a while since we've seen that punch come through.
The Mr. Hawaiian punches. So 0 there. Obviously, he has had the one interception, which was right place, right time, and passes defended is third, which tied for 13th. But that's not bad. But definitely lacking in the tackle department. He's not wrapping guys up. We've seen a lot of missed tackles, so there is some room for improvement. I'm not going to give him a huge pass.
With tackles, it's kind. I would prefer my corner not to have tackles because that means the ball's not going near him.
He's been targeted the most though out of anybody on the team.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't think he's given up that many big time.
He hasn't given up a ton of big time plays. I think the bigger part. I think
I think he's the only wide or corner in the league. It's one other that haven't given up an explosive play this year.
So 2 things with it, and then we can move on because I want to get this one little clip in next.
Yeah.
2 things is that people expect the playmaking ability that Marlon had with punching the ball out, making a play, which there has been less of those plays here over the last few years. That's just a reality. But as far as how he is actually playing, overall, he's been solid. But he even said the Raiders game, he felt it wasn't his best game. He mentioned that. But as a whole, because of his personality and what he does, the combination of that and the combination of it seems like the defense in the fourth quarter has had some issues, and there's been some terrible penalties against the team. But that's where everything's going into. But hey, you got to get ready for this one. There's no excuses.